This is At Home Miss Joan. I am at Mt Vernon, home of George and Martha Washington. We're going inside to have a little tour.
Today we went outside the city. We went to Mt Vernon. We wanted to see George Washington's estate. And it was really nice after a week of being in the busy city to go out to more of a countryside atmosphere.
When we pulled up, you go into a welcome center, and it had just a lot of artifacts there about Mt Vernon. And you walk through all of that, and then before you ever start out going towards the house or the mansion, as they call it, and it is just laid out really pretty. I really liked touring the house. We got to go in every room. We got to see his big house or big mansion. It sits facing the Potomac River. So when he would walk out in his backyard, as we would call it, that's all he sees. It's just a big view of just water and mountains and all that. But owned by George Washington, had 8,000 acres to it. Of course, now it's 200, maintained by a historical society. There's not just the mansion there. What I liked about it was all the buildings that is around the mansion. Like we saw well, of course the kitchen was separate because they had these big fireplaces in the kitchens back then. The kitchen building, and then they had just like the wash building where they did their washing, and then they had a smokehouse, they smoked their meat. They had an ice house, a shoemaker right there that worked there, because you think of all the shoes that had to be repaired and fixed from all the slaves, right? And you tell about the slaves.
Originally there was over 300 slaves that worked on the plantation there when it was 8,000 acres. He had a lot of gardens and crops. He was a big agriculturist.
When you go into the mansion, were you as shocked as I was by the second floor? It was really short. I was surprised. I'm used to taller ceilings and things now.
Well, but we went up the staircase, and there was about 4 bedrooms there. And in each of the 4 doors, the little area where you stood was very tiny and very small. It wasn't much bigger than just going straight up the staircase, and there it was. So I would have thought it would have been bigger. But I didn't live back then, so I don't know how the houses were made, and they had the heat every room with a fireplace, so I guess they had it figured out really good. Then they had the backyard set up where we could all take a chair and just sit and enjoy looking at the river just as long as you wanted to. They didn't rush you or anything. Everybody could go at their own pace. Is that right?
That's right. And Washington's tomb was there. We didn't really get to see it because they're doing some work on it right now, but he and his wife's tomb is right there on the property. So we learned this week he was supposed to be at the crypt of the Capitol. That was the plan, but he's actually at Mt Vernon. And they've got a great museum there. There's the museum when you first get there, and then there's a museum as you're leaving. And they both have different videos that you can watch.
Yeah, go in these theater rooms and watch all kinds of stuff about the war and just all kinds of stuff.
It's a really interesting place. It takes you definitely half a day, if not longer, to go through it.
Right.
And we ended by eating at the restaurant there. There's a Mt Vernon Inn restaurant.
This is At Home Miss Joan. This was a great way to end my day at Mt Vernon by eating at the Mt Vernon Inn restaurant. And it sure was good. Jordan had the biggest piece of chicken I've ever seen. Richard had a really huge piece of salmon, and I had a grilled chicken salad. Everything was so good, and we had cheesecake. So yum. We're gonna be going home tomorrow, and I'm gonna fire up that stove and get back with y'all with a bunch of home cooking. But boy, I have eaten good this week. You don't want to miss it. If you come this far up here to Washington D.C., you want to go on and take how many miles was it out there?
It's 15 miles.
It seemed longer.
From where we are. We're in downtown D.C.
Yeah, 15 miles out there, but it is well worth it. And of course, you buy tickets to it. 3 of us, what was it, $75?
About 75.
So about $25 each. But I mean, it sounds expensive, but it was worth it because they really had a full day. You could spend a full day there looking at everything that they've got. I mean, they've got animals, they've got everything that was going on back in the 1700s when he lived there. I believe that he died in 1799.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to see. I've always heard about it, but now I can say I've been there. Can I say I got to ride my first Uber?
You can.
Because I'm dying to say. We have had 3 modes of transportation. We took a lot of taxis. And what else? That metro, which I told you all about that earlier. But today we did our first Uber. One out there, and then we took one back. Well, our first experience with the Uber, the guy that we had, he drove up and he was like, all in black. And, you know, I've been talking to everybody, made me some buddies, I thought, just talked. I thought, well, I'll just get the back seat here, I'll just chew the fat with him and we'll be friends here in a minute. Well, he let me know real quick. I drive only, no talking, no talking. Well, Ricky gets, no, he didn't let you get in the front.
No.
We were all crammed in the
We was
back.
all crammed in the back. That's right. And he just flying too. He's driving, and I was determined. I talked to him the whole time, and he did not want to answer me. He just grunt, didn't he? He just grunt like, I told you, no talking, no talking. I just drive. And I was scared to death the whole 15 miles out there. But I talked to him. But I seen him once, and you did too. He got tickled at me.
He did. He wouldn't have
He
did
didn't
it.
want to,
He
but he
did.
laughed out under his mask thing he had on. I learned that not all taxi drivers and Uber drivers want to talk to you. Okay, so.
All of our taxi drivers have been really friendly.
So on the way back, we have to get another Uber to come back out here. I thought, oh dear, I dread this. So this man, he drives up, young man, and he's clean cut. He said, hello ma'am, how can I help y'all? It was like daylight and dark, you know, and he actually wanted to talk to us, didn't he? And we talked all the way back here to the hotel and just had the best time ever. So my first experience with Uber wasn't all that great, but the second one was just perfect. It couldn't have went any better, could it? Same price, though. Same price, but we got a nicer guy the second time, so it's luck of the draw, is what I learned. If you get to watch all the videos that we've done, we've been a lot of places this week. I can't think of one that was bad.
No, I can't either.
She really planned it out good, and I appreciate it.
I worked for a long time planning this trip out, that's for sure.
My daughter made us trim down and pack really light for this trip. The three of us only had, let's see, 3 backpacks, 1 each, and 2 carry-ons. Not 3 carry-ons, just 2. So I'm here this morning and I'm trying to put my makeup on and I'm hunting my foundation. I'm used to looking for my little bottle. It's, you know what foundation makeup is. I found it. Look at it. It's here in this contacts case. So I'm hoping that my makeup lasts for a whole week.
We're going to talk for a minute about packing for DC.
This summer I went to the beach with 2 of my friends and we had so much luggage in the car we could hardly find a place for us to sit. Same way with Daddy and I went to Texas.
I surprised them with the fact that we were going to travel in just 2 carry-ons and 3 backpacks. So that's 1 backpack per person, 2 carry-ons, technically just 1 carry-on because they both have CPAP machines that they have to carry, and that completely filled up one of the pieces of luggage.
True. So we really just had 1 carry-on and 3 backpacks to take our clothes and everything we needed in for an 8-day trip to Washington.
So we used these packing cubes, which I'm a big fan of, and I told them that we could all have 4 outfits and that's it. You wear 1 outfit, you pack 3. Basically had 2 pair of shoes. Wear 1 pair of shoes, pack a pair of shoes. That is important for DC though, because there's lots of walking, so you do need to think about your shoes.
I know, but when I thought about going to DC and staying 8 days, I thought I would need at least 8 different outfits, plus 2 or 3 extra outfits in case one of them got ruined or something. And then when she said that I'm going to wear 1 and carry 3, well, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe she's going to do that to her mom and daddy. But she said, Mother, you're going to be glad because it really will work. And it saved us a lot of money too in checking all this luggage at the airport. So we took her advice.
Now, one of the ways that we pared down is she was going to pack her entire bottle of foundation.
Oh, would it look good?
And I'm like, you don't need that. You're never going to use this much in one trip. And I showed her how you could take a contact case and on each side fill it with foundation. And I told her this will last longer than your trip. Was I right?
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I only used one side of it for 8 days. I only used one side of this little thing, and so I could have put something else in the other side. What about that?
I think I have converted her over to someone who appreciates packing light. Wasn't it nice when we got to the airport, we didn't have to go to baggage claim and hope that our bag came through the carousel. We just found our taxi and left.
That's the truth. But we didn't carry any jewelry. Normally I would have had my 8 outfits, my extra outfits, and my 8 different things of jewelry that matched.
Probably 8 different headbands that match your outfits.
I'm real matchy-matchy. And shoes, I'd want all my shoes to match my outfits, and purses too. But instead I had a crossover bag, 1 crossover bag, and my good walking shoes and my sandals, and that was it. And I made it fine, I will say.
She did.
My hair looked awful though, because she would not let me carry my hot rollers, because you know what old timey hot rollers look like. They're that thick, this big around. No, mama. So anyway, I just washed it and let it fly. I have a packing list, and it stays in my computer, and it's a full 8.5 by 11 sheet, 2 columns, tight as you can type it. And when I go somewhere, I just check it off, and I know I got everything I need. So I did that on this trip. I checked off everything I thought I need. All of that, she said, okay, if you carry it, you got to cut it down and put it in a smaller item. Most of my stuff, to tell you the truth, she's just put it back where it went, and I didn't get to take it. But it's all stuff I thought I needed. And we did buy 3 souvenirs. We had to figure out how to get home, but they were small. One was just flat, a little ornament, and then we had 2 little chunky boxes. But we packed them up, and we got them in that carry-on. But I done to save space. I had packed all my underwear around it so mine wouldn't get broke.
I didn't know you were going to say that.
Well, too much information. I packed my ornament really, really good so it wouldn't get broke. The mesh bags, you told about that. She brought them over here a long time before. She told me to be putting my stuff in that little thing, and I just threw it back at her a day or 2 later. I said, I can't do it. I cannot do it. But she proved to me you can. So I like these little things now. I'm going to try them on my next trip. You know, she's been to 15 countries, so she's pretty well figured out how to pack. And most of the time, she just takes the carry-on in a backpack, and she's gone. It was my first time to actually try the carry-on and the backpack theory, and it did work really well. I will say that. I like it. I like traveling light. I'm going to repent and do different on my next trip. Y'all just wait and see.
And so we fly home tomorrow. So I got to ask y'all,
Oh no.
thinking back over the whole week, if you got to pick your 3 favorite experiences. I know that's hard because cutting out some stuff, we've had lots of great experiences. If you had to pick your 3 favorites, could you rank them?
Now, okay, this is not talking about eating. This places we've been to.
Not
tour.
eating, yes.
Okay. 3 of them?
Yes.
Top 3?
Top 3. All right, let's start with number 3. What's your number 3? We'll go 3, 2, 1. What was your number 3?
Number 3, I'd say the tour of the monuments last night. I really enjoyed the nighttime visiting and saw some monuments, of course, I'd never seen, but they were all very good. And then number 2, I'd say, would be the Holocaust Museum. I enjoyed that. And then number 1, of course, for me is the Bible Museum, because it has so much information about God's Word. I really enjoyed that. But I enjoyed all the trips, every day. Nothing was bad, nothing was boring, but those 3 would be my top.
All right, Mom, what's your 3?
Well, he's going to make it look like he loves God more because he picked the Bible Museum.
He is for me too, so it's okay.
Okay. I like the Bible Museum a whole lot, okay? But he put it in his top 3.
Oh, it's in my top 3. Is it not in your top 3?
Well, no, but I can put it there. Hey, it was really good, okay? I thought you wanted to be honest.
I want you to be honest.
Okay, all right. Well,
What's
you
number
made me
3?
forget. Well, I really like the American History Museum because, is that where we saw the beautiful dresses?
The first
Okay.
lady dresses.
The first lady dresses, you know, I mean, seeing them and all the pictures and the jewelry and the shoes and the hats and all this, that was one of my favorites, okay? I still like the Bible. I love it, okay? Look at it and read it every day. The next one, I really liked the White House because we got a tour. You know, the last time you and I came, years ago, we didn't get to go in the White House, but she got it where we could go in this time. So that really meant a lot to me to get to go in and tour it. The other one that I really liked was, like Ricky said, seeing all the monuments. But there was 2 monuments that really touched my heart a lot because I really wanted to go to the Vietnam Wall because we had a young man in our community of Rock Run that died in the Vietnam War, Joseph Hillman III, and I wanted to go and find his name on the wall, and I got to do that. So that, coming up here, I knew I wanted to do that if I didn't get to do anything else. So that meant a lot to me. And then to get to see, equally as well, the World War II monument because I'll cry. My daddy served in the World War II, some of his brothers. And so that meant a lot to me that I got to go see a place that my daddy didn't live to get to go see, but was the World War II monuments. And they, of course, it's a big place, and they got a statue or monument for each state. And of course, we went and stood at the Alabama in his honor. So that meant a lot to me. Did I do good?
You did.
But I like the Bible Museum a whole lot. I really
Okay,
did.
we believe you.
But it's in your top 3. Y'all make me look. They make me look.
All right,
Tell
my
me.
number 3 is the Bible Museum. I like that we did it first thing here, because I feel like it kind of set the tone for the week. Because with that Washington Revelations, the way it flew you to different things and then said like, oh, when you go here, look for this verse. I thought that kind of set the tone really well for the week, because then we knew to kind of see that at the Holocaust Museum and things like that. My number 2 is the monument tour that we did last night with Trip Hacks DC Rob. I thought it was just a really good tour. We got lots of information at all the sites. That's my number 2. And my number 1 is the White House, because like she said, when we went before, we just had our picture made out front in front of the gate. It's different to get to go inside, and I really enjoyed getting to go in there and see everything. It was a great tour. But like they said, I don't know how we rank it, because there's nothing I wouldn't not do again. Everything was good.
Well, I'm glad we got to come, but I'm about ready to see the lights of home. Are you?
I am.
Are you, Papa?
Yes, I enjoy the time here in the city, but I'm a country boy and I'm ready to go out to the country.
Right, where we don't have to rent a taxi. Don't have to rent a Uber. We get it. He gets in his pickup truck. Here we go. Okay.
But it is a great trip, and I recommend if anybody that can come, you won't be disappointed. It is a wonderful city to visit.
Yeah, right. And just, we know our country was founded on God's principles, and just to come and see all the monuments and all the scripture and everything everywhere. Am I gonna sign off?
You're gonna sign off?
At Home with Miss Joan is going home. From Washington D.C., but it has been wonderful. Thank you. We've loved it. Felt like it was my birthday too.
I loved it too.
Let's sing happy birthday to a preacher. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear preacher. Happy birthday to you. You're growing old.
Thank y'all.